In this episode of Growing Your Sense of Self Through Self-Defense, we're going to talk about attitudes about the sense of self. People with a strong sense of self, they'll tend to work it, consciously or not, and to continue to grow it stronger. So it's like a person, if you think of physical health, which is a small portion of the entire sense of self, or is a contributing factor, can be a contributing factor to it. People who tend to that, they don't ever say like, well, I'm healthy enough, I can stop doing this or not do that. They'll work it, whether they're working out at the gym or at home or making dietary choices or healthy lifestyle choices. They're working to be physically healthy or healthier. Don't take that for granted. Similar with a strong sense of self. Now, people who don't have a strong sense of self, and I think there's as I talked about in the introductory seminar, there's a pandemic of that we have in this culture at this time because of the way we parent our children and have been for the past few generations. People who don't have a strong sense of self, they sort of broadly fall into two categories. Ones that recognize it and are trying to do something about it, and those who don't, are in denial about it, the deniers, if you want to call them that. Let me focus on those first. I sort of see three categories of people with a low sense of self who are in denial about it. As if there's reason you can deny working on strengthening your sense of self. No matter where you stand in the spectrum, it can always be stronger, and as this gets stronger, your life becomes more enriched in every way. So those in denial about it fall into three categories. And the first category I want to talk about is those who are, I would say they're so wounded that they have a strong desire and urge to succeed, culturally succeed, in the ways that we talked about before we went to Houston Robin Williams, the fame and fortune and power. If you don't have a talent or you don't have looks or something, you can always go for power over others. And it's driving them to have power over others because they have a sense of lacking power in their own life, lacking control in their own life, rooted deep in their past. I mean, they didn't have control, they didn't have power, and what they were seeing around them were things they wouldn't want to have happen. However, their view was, hey, I am responsible for that, so somehow I'm out of control, I'm out of power. They want that now over others. And these people will achieve, driven as motivated as they are, as driven as they are, achieve success, societal success, gaining positions of power in the corporate world, in the political world, in the entertainment world, whatever it is, gaining power, education world, gaining power over others, control and power over others. That's a dangerous place to be for someone with a low sense of self because they project their unhealth onto those over whom they have control or power. A second category of people are sort of the flip side of that is they're the ones who embrace the victimhood. That they somehow find solace in that, and by wearing it as a badge or something, they expect other people to pity you, and they get some kind of strokes from being the victim, right? Like that poor puppy dog, you want to feed that puppy dog that seems so scrawny and starving and without a home. These people almost put themselves in that kind of a role, and then they get some kind of a nurturance that they are lacking, unable to give themselves. They look to get it from others, and they try to do that by being perpetual victim. Wear victimhood as a badge of courage, and never mind that you are disempowering yourself, disrespecting of yourself. Those things aren't there. They're looking for a connection with others, and they seek to get that by playing the victim. The third category is sort of the enablers of the first two. They're not driven so much to achieve the power. They've had enough success, they can't really claim themselves to be the victim. So they sort of feel a connection with the victims, and they want to poor victims and give them strokes, but deep inside, I'm not as bad as them. I get some boost up from the fact that there are victims lower than me. And I project myself onto those who achieve power, and I see these are the kind of guys I like. These are the ones that I can relate to. I see in them what's in me, and they've got positions of power, so that somehow my sense of power. Never mind that when they see people as victims, they are disrespecting and disempowering those people, treating them something less than humans. Somehow I'm showing that I care and see these, look how nice I am, recognizing that there's victims around. Never mind that is a disrespectful thing. Give me kudos for being nice, caring about others. So those are the three broad categories of people with a low sense of self, in denial about it. You're self-limiting yourself if you are going to remain in denial. But it's a hard thing to move out of that. So let me talk about the category of people with a low sense of self who recognize that and are trying to do something about it. I greatly admire these people. This is a difficult situation to be in. To move out of having a low sense of self, you have to go against the current. I mean, the kinds of things, the skills that you need are precisely those that you don't have because you have a low sense of self. It takes courage to do things, to acknowledge it, and to go after growing the sense of self. But courage is something in short supply for someone with a low sense of self. They don't think of themselves as all that capable, so if I try, I'm going to fail. Who wants to, the courageous people try because they think they have a chance to succeed. If I don't think I have a chance to succeed, why should I try? So it's a difficult road to hoe. But recognizing the value in that and willing to put yourself out to try to achieve what the odds are against you achieving is something to greatly admire. At least I greatly admire and respect it. The purpose of this program is to offer yet another tool for those who are trying to grow their sense of self, wherever it sits. If you're already on the high side, okay, that's good, you can be better. If you're not on the high side, this is a program that lets you, puts tools within your reach that you can use to grow the sense of self. For the set of deniers, until they recognize that there is a problem, they're not going to solve the problem. So that's a set of people that have to be treated gingerly, related to gingerly, that, as long as they remain in denial, they're hurting themselves. They all can also be in positions that can hurt others. That's not a good thing. So that's a complexity that one must deal with when one understands the importance of the sense of self and the importance of always working to improve the strength of the sense of self for those who refuse to see either of those. That's our challenge. Kamsahamnida. Thank you for your time. Toodles.